Hello everyone, I am Riza Mayhaos, a BA3 student. So today, you will be learning on how to solve the measures of variability. So get ready because you will help me to solve the given problem. So let's do this. The measures of central tendency are not sufficient to describe data. Two sets of data can have all the same mean, but they are not entirely different. Thus, to describe data, one needs to know the degree of variability. When we say variability, it is the extent to which a numerical is likely to say about the average value. It has helped us to understand how scattered the data in the distribution. So now, I will introduce to you the formula of range, variance, and standard deviation. So range is the simplest measures of variability. But the question is, how to get the range? So all you have to do in order to get the range is subtract the lowest score from the highest score. Next, we have variance. Variance defined as the average squared difference of the scores from the mean. It tells us how close the scores from the mean of the distribution. So for us to solve it, here is the formula. The letter sigma of standard deviation equals x minus u squared equals n. So x is the score, u is the mean, and n is the total number of scores. So next we have standard deviation. Standard deviation tells us how to close the scores are from the mean of the distribution. It is simply the positive square root of the variance. So for us to solve it, here is the formula. The letter sigma of standard deviation equals square root of x minus u squared equals n. So now, we are able to know the formula of range, variance, and standard deviation. Let's help me to solve the given problem. So here is the problem. The following are the scores of 15 students in a 15-item test. We have 9, 11, 8, 14, 10, 7, 9, 7, 13, 15, 10, 6, 11, 8, and 12. To compute for the range, variance, and standard deviation. Again, in order to get a range, let us subtract the lowest score from the highest score. To be able to get the lowest and the highest score, arrange it from lowest to highest. So we have 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So as you can see on the slides, so 6 is the lowest and the 15 is the highest score. So 15 minus 6 equals 9. Therefore, the range is 9. And now, let's proceed to variance. To solve the variance, you have to follow the steps. So in step 1, work on the mean. In order to get the mean, add the scores and divide it to the number. So mean equals EX over N equals 9 plus 11 plus 8 plus 14 plus 10 plus 7 plus 9 plus 7 plus 13 plus 15 plus 10 plus 6 plus 11 plus 8 plus 12 divided by 15 equals 150 over 15, since 15 is the total number of scores. So 150 divided by 15 equals 10. Therefore, the mean is 10. And step 2, for each score, subtract the mean, that is x1 minus mean, in column 2 of the table. Then square each result, which is the column number 3. Like for example, our mean is 10. So 9 minus 10 equals negative 1. So 11 minus 10 equals 1. 8 minus 10 equals negative 2. 14 minus 10 equals 4. 10 minus 10 equals 0. 7 minus 10 equals negative 3. 9 minus 10 equals negative 1. 7 minus 10 equals negative 3. 13 minus 10 equals 3. 15 minus 10 equals 5. 10 minus 10 equals 0. 6 minus 10 equals negative 4. 11 minus 10 equals 1. 8 minus 10 equals negative 2. 12 minus 10 equals 2. Since we already have the result of the column 2, let's proceed to column 3. In order to get the result of column 3, let us square the result of column 2. Like for example, square root of negative 1 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of negative 2 is 4. Square root of 4 is 16. Square root of 0 is 0. Square root of negative 3 is 9. Square root of negative 1 is 1. Square root of negative 3 is 9. Square root of 3 is 9. Square root of 5 is 25. Square root of 0 is 0. Square root of 4 is 16. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 2 is negative 2 is 4. Square root of positive 2 is 4. We already have the result of column 3. All we have to do is add all the result. So, the result of x minus n squared equals 100. And now, we are done in step 2. Let's proceed in step 3. In step 3, divide the sum of the square differences, which is the column 3, by the total number of scores. So as you can see on the slides, there is a formula. So O squared equals x minus u squared over n equals 100 over 15. So 100 divided by 15 equals 6.67. Therefore, the variance is equal to 6.67. So now, let's proceed to the last part, which is the standard deviation. To solve for standard deviation, we simply get the square root of the variance. So, standard deviation equals square root of 6.67 equals 2.8. Therefore, the standard deviation is equal to 2.58. So all in all, the mean is 10, range is 9, the variance is 6.67, and the standard deviation is 2.58. So that's the end of my report. I hope you've learned something.